Is it better now? Please let me know if it's better now. Please let me know if it's better now. Please let me know if it's better now. Okay. So basically, how do websites work? All right. Thanks, Wilfred. So basically, how do websites work? So I have a little. Let's start with the. Let's first start with the website. So this is Google. Google.com has. First thing you need to do when you go to the World Wide Web is to type Google.com. So once you type Google.com, sorry. So first thing you're gonna do is once you type Google.com, it's gonna bring up this beautiful page, this beautiful looking page right here. And how does this page come about? And what will happen once I type something in? I start getting results like all of these results that are here. So basically, I'm just gonna explain what happened behind the scenes once you type all of these queries to a website. So let's get right into it. So how do websites work? So just a basic overview. This is your browser, this is your a server, and this is your database. Or let me just start with this. So you typed google.com. So what happens when you type google.com is google.com is an address that is being assigned to a server, and that server let me Alright, so that server gets that request and then sends that request back to your browser. So this is our browser here. Alright, so your server sends that request back to your browser in the form of a page, and that page could be, or most definitely the page is an HTML page. So basically this is a brief summary of what happens behind the hood when you kind of like when you type google.com. So let's inspect google.com and see what happens behind the page. So this is google.com. So an easier way for me to inspect this page would be to right click on the browser and then click on this inspect element. Once I click on that inspect element, all of these right here as an HTML document, which is basically this HTML document that I said right here. So once you type google.com, the request is being sent to the server, and then the server sends a response to your browser in the form of an HTML document. So which is this HTML document in the case of Google right here. And this HTML document has a lot of stuff going in there. And in my subsequent videos, this is the first video, is basically like this is not very professional, but it's basically like a normal video. So in my subsequent videos, I am going to show you, I'm going to be teaching stuff like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I'm also going to show you like everything that happens behind the hood once you send requests to your server, and then the server sends a response back to your browser. So we're going to be learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you never know where it can end. And this is the best time if you want to learn any programming language, or if you want to learn to be a developer. Then we're gonna have like a couple of sessions, and I actually think the best day to have these sessions is Sundays. If you have any query or have any questions, just put a comment behind the on the comment box, and I'll respond to it. So I want to have like sessions on Sunday, which is gonna Sunday, we say 5 p.m. CST. So 5 p.m. CST, no EST. That's Eastern Standard Time. So sessions on Sunday on 5 p.m. EST. So let's go ahead with this. I have a more advanced document to tell you under the hood what's going on here. What is going on? All right. So, all right, this is exciting. Now, this is more detail what happens behind the hood. So, this is your browser. What happens is your browser sends a request to the server, and your server is basically an application that runs. It's basically an application that is constantly running, and that application has an HTTP address attached to it. So once you send that request, the server responds to your browser with a web page, which is the HTML document which we saw earlier. This HTML document right here. Alright, so in your server you have server files, and these files are responsible for manipulating all the data that your server receives, and also these files have been responsible for all the HTML and the CSS and the JavaScript programs that you're going to be writing, which should be sent back to your web page. And also this server is responsible for storing the data that is being received in your client through your browser. So if you look at this diagram right here, you have the request that's been sent to your server, and your server files can include files with the extensions of PHP, Python, Java, JavaScript, C++, Ruby. These are all server programming languages. And other files that your server can include HTML, CSS, JavaScript, JPEG files, and what have you. So basically, once the server receives the request, say in this case of PHP, if you develop an application which requires some data to be stored in a database, that is when this other part comes in in your database. And once the data is being stored, that data can be retrieved at some point in time. That's what happens when you say you have a browser, and then that browser has different links in it, and those links, you have the about us page and you have a contact page. In your, say for example, in a browser you click a contact page, what's going to happen is it's going to send that request to your server, and then your server is going to interpret that request and then send it back as a response in the form of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files. And that's it. That's all about this introduction. So if you have any questions, just put your comment